Hello survivors, hello thrivers. Today I want to talk about how malignant narcissists are able to fool intelligent, successful people. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I get a lot of clients that tell me, Michele, I'm not stupid. I'm an extremely successful person, and they'll tell me all the things they've done in their life, and yet it's hard for them to swallow the reality pill that they fell for something. They probably feel like they were living on their own Truman Show, right? In the sense that their whole life was a lie. And that truth alone is hard to swallow. When you look at everything you thought, was a certain way, or you look at how you thought a person was and you realize that they're not like that, that's a hard reality pill to swallow. Once you go through that, reality shock phase, the next phase is even harder, because the next phase, a person tends to look at themselves and wonder how on earth they fell for it. So in this video, I really want to help you to understand how they're able to fool intelligent people. And if you stay till the end, you'll be able to find out what you can do so that it doesn't happen again. With that in mind, let's get started. Okay, the first reason why malignant narcissists are able to fool intelligent people is because most people are who they show themselves to be, to a certain degree, right? And most people tend to expect other people to be who they say they are. And that is the case even with overt narcissists. An overt narcissist truly believes that all of their manipulation is like exactly what they should be doing. There's nothing wrong with the abuse that they do. There's a problem with you for having it. So in essence, overt narcissists are obvious abusers. They are who they show themselves to be. So when I'm talking about how intelligent people get fooled, they don't tend to get fooled by overt narcissists. They tend to get fooled by the covert narcissist. Covert being hidden, right? It's hidden manipulation. It's under the radar. They are, in essence, the wolf in sheep's clothing. They present themselves to be very charming. They present themselves to be a good person. And the way you know that their abuse is hidden is because the overt narcissist doesn't tend to change behind closed doors. Okay, maybe they get worse, but they don't hide their abuse even in public, because they don't consider it abuse. They consider their behavior to be the best way that anyone could possibly be. There's no two-faced way of behaving when it comes to the overt narcissist. But the covert narcissist has one way that they are in public and one way that they are behind closed doors. So most people that fall for a covert narcissist is because who they're showing they are in public is who you think they really are. And it's often not until you're deeply invested in the relationship that they start showing different sides of themselves. And that leads me to the next reason why intelligent people wind up falling for covert narcissists, is because when they do start showing these sides of themselves, it's not often this huge, big thing that they're starting to do. They are small, consistent ways that the covert narcissist begins to change. And again, it's not easily noticeable. So I kind of liken it to like the waves in the ocean. If you're not wiped out by the tidal wave, if it's not fatal, you are definitely going to be relocated somewhere else, right? Because of the power of the wave that comes in. There's no question about it. You know that wherever you end up is not where you started. But when you think about the everyday waves of the ocean, they also relocate you. They also change where you are physically, but it's so subtle and it's so gentle and it's so consistent that you often don't even realize or notice it until it's too late. It's the same thing with the covert abuse. It's small but consistent, and it is relocating you emotionally by changing how you view things. But it is also changing you in small ways. And when you start picking up on it, okay, when you start noticing and your red flags or your inner gut starts kicking on, The covert narcissist then does something else that makes it difficult for you to catch on. And what it is they start going back to who they were in the beginning. Once you start noticing, wait a second, this person is changing, I don't like this, they flash you that original image, which causes you to start second guessing your red flags. Those are just a few reasons why even intelligent people wind up falling for covert narcissists. But on top of that, what everyone needs to understand is that no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how successful you are in your life, if you have unhealed inner wounds, on top of the regular manipulation that's going on, that manipulation is going to wake up things in you that blur your everyday reasoning. Some of those wounds are shame, okay? If you felt in childhood for some reason that you weren't enough, being in a relationship with a covert narcissist, you may not realize what's going on a subconscious level, but they have that ability to wake up or open doors inside of you that have been closed for a really long time. So if your past wasn't affecting you in your present life, they have the ability to kind of open up doors that haven't been opened, and it can be very confusing. So what starts happening is with the manipulation that they're doing, or the covert abuse that they're doing, if you experienced covert abuse in childhood and it's starting to wake that up, you're going to start experiencing emotional flashbacks. And when you're having emotional flashbacks, the logical part of your mind shuts down. It short circuits. On top of that, emotional flashbacks cause the brain to confuse past and present. Okay? Now, it's not like on a logical sense, you're confusing the past and the present. But what happens is the emotions that come up inside of you are from the past. The fears, the pain, the insecurities are from the past. And when your logical side of the brain is shut down, you don't realize that those emotions are from the past. And so you start doing what you would have done in the past. A child doesn't have the ability to self-validate and, separate that person's view from who they see themselves as. So a child will strive to prove that that's not who they are, that they are enough, that they are a good person, and they're trying to establish that validation from the other person because they have to. That's a child thing. A child needs that validation. They can't self-validate. So in an emotional flashback, when you don't realize that that's what's taking place, you start responding from that place of emotions that's coming up, and you start doing what you would have done in the past. You start trying to prove yourself to the person who's inflicting or provoking those emotions in you. And without the logical part of your brain kicking on to say, hey, okay, if they see that in you, that doesn't mean that's who you are. You know who you are. You don't have that access with emotional flashbacks. You wind up getting stuck in a cycle that was from the past. And once those cycles get woken up, unless you heal them, you can stay stuck. And part of being stuck is trying to get the person that you're in a relationship with to heal them, because that's what a child would do. Okay, it has to do with emotional flashbacks, and the more you understand emotional flashbacks and what happens during an emotional flashback, the more this makes sense. But again, you can be the most intelligent person in the world, but when you're in an emotional flashback, your logical side of your brain short circuits, and you don't have access to that thinking ability that you need so that you can notice what's going on, trust yourself, and do whatever you feel is best to protect yourself. And talking about childhood wounds, another thing that can make it difficult for intelligent people is if you were raised in a family without boundaries. Okay, you may be successful and intelligent in so many areas of your life, but if you haven't learned how to have healthy and firm physical and emotional boundaries, then a covert manipulative narcissist can get in there. They can penetrate those boundaries, and that's when you can get roped into that narcissistic web. Covert manipulation to me is very much like carbon monoxide. You can't smell it, you can't see it, you can't detect it, without an alarm in your home, it can easily go undetected and become dangerous for you and sometimes fatal. So the alarm for the emotional carbon monoxide that's given out from malignant covert narcissists is knowledge. You need to learn. You need to understand these behaviors. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we tend to only learn about these behaviors and learn about the signs and learn about the need to heal our inner wounds after we've been in a horrifying or difficult relationship. It would be awesome if schools taught this, but they don't, right? This should be part of like health class, learning about these behaviors, learning about the importance of healing so that you don't wind up getting duped and having your life turned inside out by somebody that's an emotional abuser. But until then, at least there are these videos on YouTube. There's tons of people making amazing content to provide awareness about covert abuse. So learning about it is key. And if you really want to make sure that you never fall for another malignant narcissist again, you don't want to just learn about the malignant covert narcissist. You also want to look at how you can strengthen your inner wounds, or heal, I should say, your inner wounds so that you don't fall for another one again. Because that is completely possible. I see it happen all the time. So if you're still on your healing journey, make sure you check out my links in the description box, where I have a lot of free resources and a lot of additional resources for anyone that feels they need a little bit extra help so that they can strengthen and heal their inner wounds so that they can stop what is often, sadly, generational abuse.